Are you trying to build your speed and technique on guitar, and you're trying to figure out how to use exercises to help you out with that? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually get better and build speed from exercises, and I'm going to show you this in about 7 minutes. So that's all this will take of your time, and you'll walk away with knowing how to actually get that technique and get that speed that you're looking for. We're going to look at the big picture of it here today, and make sure you stay until the end where I'll demo some common mistakes that people make that stop them from getting that speed and technique. Now, it all starts right here. Most people see this exercise as just the notes that are on the page. I know that's exactly how I saw it when I was trying to build my speed and technique. I would see this as just 12, 10, 9, 12, 10, 9. These are the notes. I got to memorize them, maybe repeat them a lot, but really, what's the point of just memorizing an exercise? If you want to build your playing technique, your soloing, you would have to memorize tons and tons and tons of exercises if you're trying to directly use them as licks or building blocks of your vocabulary. But really, that's not the point of an exercise. An exercise is really meant to be a tool to help you open up your technique. Open up how your hands, your fingers, your arms, how you play the guitar. Now, if you do that, you'll be able to play what you hear in your head and create your own licks. Because if you have the ability to move your fingers, move your hands the way that they need to move, you can just make up stuff on the spot. You don't have to learn dozens and dozens or hundreds of exercises or licks to be able to do that. And so exercises are really meant to expose your weaknesses in your hands, in your fingers, in your arms, so that you can break free from those and then create your own stuff. Now, you could have the best ideas in the world, but if you don't have good or decent technique, you'll never get those ideas out. Now, technique, you can see right here, it's really important to have technique, and technique is built in your body. It's built in your hands, in your arms, in your fingers. It's not so much about memorization. Most of what you should focus on should really be off of the page. So, of course, at the beginning, when you first see this exercise, you have to memorize it. All right, so I'm going to give you a three-step process here. You do have to start with memorizing an exercise. So you set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes and just repeat that exercise over and over again. You can even put the TV on in the background or whatever. The point is, get the notes into your fingers to a point where you can look away from the guitar, close your eyes, and you don't have to think about where your fingers have to go anymore. Okay, your technique doesn't have to be perfect because that's not the point here. The point is just memorize it, and now you'll be ready to start working on other things that have to do with the actual technique. So number 2 here is to test your max speed. You want to play as fast as you can after you've initially memorized it. Play as fast as you can and notice all the things that go wrong. Now, why do we want to notice all the things that go wrong? Well, because if we can see all those different things that are going on, then now we can actually start to fix some of them. Remember, the point of an exercise is partly just to expose your weaknesses. So then we can gradually work at getting better at those things that went wrong. Now, you'll continue to put in more reps with the exercise, but now it just won't be like this blind, boring, doing the same thing over and over again. Now what you'll be able to do is actually improve some of those different areas. And as you improve those breakdown spots, you'll feel more and more comfortable and be able to build your speed. So let's look at some real life examples of this. Okay, so I've already tried to play it as fast as I can, and you'll see the first problem that I'm running into right here. My right hand has a lot of swing in it. See how far it's going past the strings as I'm playing? Now this can really slow me down, slow anyone down. And so in the next clip, I'm going to change it up, make it come more from the wrist. It keeps the motion a little smaller, and this is going to help me to be able to play faster. Okay, now in the next clip, you're going to see a problem with the left hand. You can see that my shoulder's way up high, elbows back, and all this stuff puts my hand in kind of a weird position. It's harder for my fingers to do what they got to do. They're kind of cramped. It's going to slow me down too. So in this next clip, you'll see that I change it up. Shoulder drops down. My thumb's behind the neck. Makes it all a little bit easier for the fingers to move. And that's like taking away that speed bump again. Now I'll be able to play a little faster. In this clip, you'll see something that a lot of people do. Sometimes people try to play on the pads of their fingers instead of the tips of their fingers. You can see my fingers are kind of collapsing and stuff too. So it makes them kind of weak. But here, I'm trying to play right on the tips of the fingers. And now they can move nice and smooth and easy. And the result of doing things like this as you practice is that you can play it a lot faster. Alright, so let's do a quick review. First of all, you want to take your exercise and memorize the notes until you can look away from them. Remember, you don't want to have to think about where your fingers are going. You want to have the notes memorized so that you can think more about what's going on in your body, in your fingers, your hands, your arms, everything. And so the next step is to test your max speed and notice your problem areas. All right, we want the exercise, you want to play as fast as you can to expose our problem areas. And that's going to be weird, uncomfortable stuff that happens as you play. So like we saw in the demo video, your arm might swing too much, your fingers might fly away. There could be a million different things going on, but you'll notice it if you like look in a mirror as you're playing or record yourself on a phone or something like that. You'll be able to see it pretty easy a lot of times, the problem areas. And then you want to gradually work on those problem areas. And it's really as simple as just taking one of them and then for 2 minutes, let's say, set the timer for 2 minutes and just try to do the opposite of the problem area. If your arm's swinging too much, just try to play with less swing in the arm. If your fingers are flying away from the fretboard, try to keep them closer to the fretboard. And you just focus on it for a couple of minutes, work on it the best you can, then move around between your different problem areas. Now, if you want a better technique and faster speed, that's how you do it. This is really the overview of the steps that every one of your favorite players has taken to just basically problem solve. That's what gives you that better technique and that faster speed. Now, if you want a cheat sheet of the common problem areas that most people, most players, most students run into, see the link. I'll leave it in the description. It's a completely free cheat sheet that I've made just to give you a rundown of things that you could look for as you're looking in the mirror or as you're recording yourself or just watching your playing sitting there. All right, so if this video was helpful for you, make sure, let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know what you'd like to